just an unbelievable finish. No question about that. You know, in the first half, I felt like we were moving the ball on offense. We just weren't getting any points. Defensively, we played pretty good in the first half. In the second half, I thought their offense did a good job against our defense. We didn't tackle well. That was kind of an issue, was being able to tackle 26. He's a heck of a football player. Saw him before the game out there stretching. His legs are huge. Just a great lower body. We just didn't tackle him well. Offense was moving the ball. Didn't have a lot of opportunities for a while. And then defense came up with those big plays, the big turnovers in the fourth quarter. And it was just great to see the way we responded. You know, everybody on the sideline believed. Everybody was cheering for each other the entire time. There was nobody that gave in. And, you know, you keep fighting until the last whistle, or at least till there's 15 seconds to go to score. But just real proud of our football team, real proud of our assistant coaches. It's a great win.
Just the poise there late for that offense to go down there and march the 2 times they had it in the last 5 minutes or so. Just what do you see from that group, the confidence-wise, that they were going to be able to go down there and score?
Well, the assistant coaches kept telling them on the sideline throughout the game that, guys, they can't stop us. We've stopped ourselves a few times, but if we can protect and continue to run the ball, they have a hard time covering our receivers. And I thought our O-line stepped it up there in the fourth quarter with the pass protection. Of course, Jason can move around. That helps a little bit. Tobias had a big game running the ball for us. But it was good to see, you know, different guys get involved to go score. Murray had a big game. Mitchell had a really good catch for us. And then obviously Ty and Xavier, you know, are 2 guys we rely on to do a bunch. I'm always wondering, how do we get them the ball? How do we get them the ball? So it's pretty good. And then, you know, it's great to see Isaac catch the ball for a touchdown. Isaac's been here a long time. You know, he works so hard every day in practice. He hasn't caught a lot of balls throughout his career. He's got quite a few this year, really, for him. But great touchdown. It's kind of designed to go to Ty Scott coming across underneath Isaac. He got either tripped up or he went down to the ground anyway, I know that. And then Isaac was there wide open.
You brought in a couple different transfer receivers this year. You had some guys coming back. Did you expect Tyrone to kind of separate himself from the group like he has over the last couple of weeks? I mean, he's putting up some crazy numbers over the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, well, I had the opportunity to go watch him practice. Went up to Central Michigan, and Ryan was there. Spent a couple weeks or more up there, so I watched him do a lot. He's really, really talented. He's got the strongest lower body and his explosiveness. It was really just the time to learn the offense. And as soon as he knew it and didn't go out there and make mistakes, we knew he was going to, you know, start catching a lot more balls. Even you think back at Oklahoma State, how explosive he was, and a great touchdown. And he's just so explosive with his lower body. It's a tough matchup.
What made you so confident? You're seeing that you're telling them, hey, they can't stop us and everything, and it just kind of proved to be true there. What did you see just kind of defensive-wise that you guys were doing so well?
I just didn't feel like they could cover our receivers, and you know, Jason can distribute the ball. We had good matchups. They were playing zone at times, and then they were pressuring us at times. So really it just came down to making sure we were all on the same page with the pass protection and to be able to run it, because that's the other way you protect the quarterback is you run the ball. And I was really happy with the way Tobias ran the ball. I thought he ran as hard as he ever has today.
We've touched on it a few times this season, just Jason and just kind of these late games being able to drive the team down the field. Is there anything different you could say about this one, just him being able to lead this team for that?
Just great poise and decision making, and I think confidence. You know, he's a really, really confident young man. He's kind of quiet, but he's very confident. And, you know, everybody believes in him. You know, so I think when everybody believes in him, we feel like he's going to go make the plays to win.
And defensively, you had your struggles there in the second half, not being able to tackle and whatnot, but came up with the big plays when you needed them. Just what you see from that group that kind of left?
They just kept fighting. You know, they just kept fighting. They were using the clock. They were staying in the huddle. They were trying to keep our offense on the sideline. They converted third downs. You know, I I think it'd probably be our worst third down day on defense. But we made the plays, we came up with the big turnovers, and sure energized the offense to go score.
The guys didn't really touch on it, but in North Dakota, it just seemed like they kind of smiled and kept their lips shut when asked about just kind of going back and getting another chance at them, just being able to pull this off against them. What do you think that does for them?
Yeah, we didn't feel good about the playoff game. You know, we felt like we played really good football in the spring, with the exception of that game, offense, defense, and special teams. So it was nice to be able to come out and perform well and find a way to win.
So what was the call on that touchdown? Just kind of what was going through your head on all that?
Yeah, well, we had a number of things we talked about. We had our 2-point plays available. We ended up pulling out one of our 2-point play calls where we were going to run a mesh route between Isaac and Ty Scott. First, he was going to get a little rub from Ron on a arc in cut, and then X had an in cut in the back of the end zone, 9 yards deep. So read the mesh, in cut. So we had a couple options. They brought an extra guy off the left edge. Jason saw it. He made a protection call to make sure it was protected on the right side, and then he moved and made the throw on the run. We talked about, before we went out, that, hey, it's either a touchdown or it's incomplete. There's no sacks, the clock's not running, we're going to be able to line up and kick a field goal at worst. It was nice to see us get the touchdown. That made it nice. I wouldn't want it to go to overtime.
You would have kicked the field goal?
I would have kicked the field goal, yeah. Yeah, you got to. Wouldn't have wanted to, but I would have.
Dimitri was on the field a lot more this week. I assume that he's feeling like fully healthy and obviously in good playing shape. And how important was it for you guys to have him out there with Tyler being injured at the end of last week's game?
Yeah, that was huge. For him to be able to come back and move actually from the Mike to the Sam spot. Had a really good week of practice. He said it's the best he's felt in a long time, and thank God, because without Tyler out there, he's such a really good player for us. He's just so solid, makes plays in crucial moments that you get nervous about it when he's not out there. But I thought Dimitri did a good job filling in. We need to learn how to stay on side.
Jalen Stewart, he's kind of slid into that nickel corner role for you guys. Last week he was playing it a lot, and this week too. What did you see from him, or what have you seen from him over the season that made you confident enough to put him out there and start these last 2 weeks?
Well, unfortunately, Zach has a little issue with his elbow, and he still played and still did some good things, but we felt like he couldn't be out there the whole time. And then Jalen, Jalen's a tough young man. He had knee surgery early in the season, had to go in and scope his knee. Took him a while to come back. He started feeling good about a month ago, and then he just works really hard. And he's tough and physical and makes a lot of plays. It's nice to see that. Just how I'm really happy for him, because he just transferred here and then he gets injured, has surgery. The surgery wasn't as bad as they originally thought. We thought maybe he was done, so he was able to come back, and he worked really hard to do that.
What changed in that second half? In the first half, you guys put up 10 points. In the second half, you put up 22. A few drives in that first half, though, you guys weren't able to capitalize. What changed in that second half? What were maybe some adjustments?
Yeah, I think really getting the turnovers helped us get more possessions, because it was a game of, we don't have a lot of possessions here offense. We got to take advantage of every single one of them. So when the defense got the turnovers, offense had more possessions and did a good job moving the ball. We got hurt a couple times, the delayed drives by sacks or negative yards. So we're talking all the time about no negative yards, and we'll be able to move the ball.
At the end of the game, when you were walking back in the locker room, I think you said, wow, maybe 3 or 4 times?
Did I?
Yeah. What's going through your mind at that point? It's kind of your only time to be by yourself since the clock had 0 before you walked in that locker room.
Saying, wow, what a win. It was just an awesome way to win a game.
Isaac, what's going through your head on that touchdown?
Before the play started, the thing I said in my head, I was like, man, if it comes to me, just catch and tuck. Let nothing happen to this ball, just catch and tuck. So I wanted to make sure I made the play, because I got us to win.
Anything clutch like that in your sports career ever? Basketball?
That's probably the biggest moment. That's probably the biggest moment for sure.
And you guys are down by 11 at one point during the fourth quarter. Just kind of, where did the belief stick with you guys if you guys could pull something like that off?
Definitely. One thing I did keep telling my teammates on the sideline, there was a lot of game to go. You know what I mean? There was a lot of game to go, and we wasn't down by much. So our belief never left. And once the defense did their thing, we was ready to go and make a play.
Tobias, you're usually the guy that ends up with 2 or 3 touchdowns a game, but you had 100 yards rushing. Do you feel, you've asked this question a bunch of times, but do you keep track of like those yards in your head, or are you just trying to fight forward and get as many yards as you can?
Honestly, not really. I just play my game and I look at it after the game, to be honest with you. I don't really pay attention to it during the game because it doesn't really matter.
Can you feel the momentum though with the offense? Like you're popping off these 17, 15-yard runs, you're breaking a bunch of tackles. Like, I mean, obviously you guys are trying to hype you up, but can you feel the momentum that you're gaining when you're popping off those big runs and breaking all those tackles?
Oh yeah, of course. You know, the run game opened up the passing lane. So once I get going, we all go. You know what I mean? Coaches tell me that before every game, so once I go, we all go.
Ferrin, what's the conversation like before that 4th down attempt by North Dakota?
They was just saying, don't let anything deep get behind us and just tighten up. We never, like they said, we never really lost hope though. Like we knew we had it in the bag, but we just had to pull through.
Did it kind of feel like you were just one big play away from changing momentum and changing the swing of the game?
Oh yeah, for sure. We felt that the whole game.
How did you know you had that? I mean, the point there had to be something there.
I don't know. It's just confidence in our coaches and in our own players. You know, we know we put in the work, and it's just time to show up, and we pulled through.
And just kind of what's the feeling like when you're able to get them off on that 4th down trick play and then they fumbled there?
Oh yeah, we was hyped. I mean, shoot, we came through when our number was called, and that's all they could ask for.
The Tobias, just kind of seeing, we've asked a few times throughout the year, but just seeing Jason kind of back there with you guys, I know it's giving you guys a lot of confidence, but just going into a game-winning drive like that, what's kind of the thought process knowing he's behind center?
You can ask me yourself. Before we hit the field, I was like, hey, let's go win 3. Let's take the ball down here, let's go win. I believe them. I believe no line. I told them I got their back. But they needed to tell me, like they needed me to block, I block. I got confidence in everybody on the field, everybody on my team. I believe in everybody.
For all you guys, do you guys like being in those need to make a play to win a game situations? Like, 'cause it just seems like it keeps happening week after week, like South Dakota, UCA, this game. Like, it just seems like y'all like to be in those situations and like to go make the plays.
We would like to have a bigger margin than that. It's a joke that we have going on. We call ourselves the cardiac bears, and we be giving ourselves heart attacks every game. But nah, I mean, the game is unpredictable. You know what I mean? You'll never know how the game will go. I mean, we'll like to always blow a team out, but they're well coached. You know what I mean? They're a good team as well, so blowouts ain't gonna happen every game, definitely. So if they gotta be by 1 point or 5 or 10, we can take it.
What are those discussions like? They use cardiac bears. I mean, you guys, how long has that been just kind of discussed?
It's been a thing since last spring when we was winning the close games in the 4th quarter. Cardiac bears, man.
And you guys know what's kind of big picture and everything, just kind of playoffs and just kind of what that looks like. But a loss today would have been difficult. But just kind of coming off and winning that, and how much confidence does it give you just kind of going forward the rest of the year that you can make it back?
We got a lot of confidence, and we knew how important this game was coming in here. So we definitely wanted to walk out of here with a win to better our chances for the playoffs, because we feel like we can compete and beat anybody once we get in there. So.
Tobias, we talked to you guys the other day, and you guys were kind of kept your mouths shut a little bit when we asked about going back out and getting a chance at North Dakota. Now that you got the win over them, just kind of what was kind of the feeling going into that, and just kind of the motivation that playing that team that beat you guys in the playoffs, how that served you?
Well, for one, we're not the same team as we were in the spring. So I knew going into the game that it was going to be a different outcome. We just had to take care of business. I was always confident going into the game. I ain't afraid of nothing. I fear God. You know what I mean? So it's like, I kind of knew it was going to win. Just wait for it to happen.
Ferrin, what were some of those defensive adjustments in the fourth quarter? Because they put up 14 on you guys. The run in the third quarter, and the running game was working a lot. What were your coaches telling you? What was the defensive huddles like to hold them to 7 and get those clutch fourth down stops?
I ain't gonna lie. I felt like everything that like we gave them, like we just weren't locked in, and towards the end, we just told each other like this game will be on us. Like we need 2 stops. We're gonna get the stops, and the offense gonna score. It was really just a mentality thing. I feel like.
How are you able to put some of those things behind you? Because I mean, the way a kid goes for 38 on one run, the start and drive, and you guys are able to stop them 3 plays later. How are you able to just kind of move that?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like it's hard, but our coaches really preach on next play, and whether it was good or bad, just forget about it and move on. And that's the type of motto we live by.
Ferrin, Coach was talking about how engaged the sideline was the whole time, especially towards the end when you guys got that fumble, you got a few turnovers. I think I got some footage of Tobias getting real after it on the sideline. What's it like to have the offense stand up on the sideline, especially towards the end there, and really hyping you guys up?
I would say that's a big factor. Like when the crowd was getting loud, it's going to make the offense like maybe false start. It's just a lot of momentum that helps us win too.
And Tobias, what was it like on the sideline? Like I said, you guys were pretty hype on the sideline as an offense when the defense had a few big plays to make.
I mean, we had us and down throughout the whole game, so when we saw that, we was like, oh, this is our chance to go win. So that's what turned me. I was like, oh, we can't still win this game, let's go win. So once I see the defense turn up, they turned me up.
Isaac, you've been with this program for a while. Just pulling off wins like that, just how cool was that? Just kind of see the growth of this program.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to make it about me, but I will say, yeah, this is my 6th season with the Bears, and getting a win like that in this stadium, it meant a lot. I'll be lying if I said it didn't. It meant a lot. So, yeah, it was a little emotional after the game.
You get emotional after the game?
Yeah, a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. That was a big moment, man, for everybody.
What's the thoughts going through your head now?
You trying to make me tear up now? Nah, I mean, we work so hard, man. I mean, no matter the conditions outside, no matter what our situation is, we just always go out and work hard. We always said that the reason why we have our success is because we work harder than everybody. So, like, after that, I just thought about all the hard work we did, all the work we put in, all the sacrifices we made. Man, it was all worth it.
As a coach said that he was gonna kick it if you guys didn't score on that play. But how important was it for you guys once you got to so close to the end zone to actually punch it in and not go to overtime?
Yeah, I mean, plays like that, that separates good and great team, man. One thing he did say, like, if it ain't a touchdown, it's an incompletion, so we can kick the field goal. So, man, I'm glad we took the chance and punched it in, and was successful too, because, man, that's a great moment, good win for the whole program.
As you mentioned, you were emotional after the game, but I think right after you caught the touchdown, you were just stone-faced.
Oh, yeah.
So just letting the moment sink in?
Yeah, I mean, it hit me. It did hit me in that moment. I think I was hyped. The emotions started rushing, like, more towards when the game was over. You know what I mean? The clock still had some time on it, so I didn't want to, like, get too happy. I was calling out my teammates, like, there's still some game left. Let's let the clock hit 0. Once the clock hit 0, that's when I started to have those thoughts, how much work we put in.
And you kind of did the watch, like saying it's your time. Having waited, did that make that moment any more special?
Yeah, it did. I just think, that celebration basically saying, like, it's game time, game over. You know what I mean? Like, we put the game away. So definitely, yeah.
Ferrin, how difficult is it when they score a touchdown with 15 seconds left? Just kind of get back. I'm sure you're hype on the sideline, but to get back out there and have to come up with 4 more stops.
Yeah, like Isaac said, we was hyped, but I was trying to keep my teammates calm, and because we have 1 more drive left, and we don't want to give up the game at the end. So I was happy, but at the same time, I was trying to focus in and get the win. Like you said, wait till 0-0, then we can get hyped.
Tobias, over 100 yards today. What did you see? What was working?
Pretty much whatever he was calling, Coach B was calling. We watched film all week. They was gassing. Our opposing team was gassing up the middle the whole game, so we was doing the same thing, and we did it in the hit.